So, unfortunately, they used to have a nice day today, pleasant day, a little night luncheon, but for some reason you're still playing around with the court system in the United Kingdom. Why? Why are you bothering?
Well, as some people have reminded me, there are one or two people who aren't as bloody minded as me who would like to fight the injustices that are routine stuff in our UK courts. And I therefore keep going because I've been told to. There is the other matter. If I back out now, I am facing well over £1 million compensation claim to the South Wales Police. These are police officers who run the southern part of Wales in the United Kingdom. That is why I'm keeping going.
There was mention on your blogs, we try to follow your blogs, which are very difficult to follow. The average person will say, oh, I can't understand all this. There's talk of sums of money like £50,000, £100,000 being paid by the system to you. Does that ever happen?
Oh, yes. I was awarded £50,000 for a false imprisonment in Cardiff prison. Routine stuff, knowing full well I'd never get the money. Now, on that occasion, the Home Secretary's Department, the Justice Ministry, came to court on appeal. They said, oh, we never got the summons.
Right.
And you know, they actually got Cardiff staff to come to court and say, well, we may have made a mistake. I said, but you gave the summons to the other defendant, the South Wales Police.
Who served the summons? Who actually served it?
The court do it.
They did it. So it was done officially through the court. And they paid for it to be served.
But I was one step ahead of them. I made, well, I wasn't then, I am this time, which I'll tell you about in a second. They served the two summonses, of course, but they then pretended, this is called HM Partnership, this is an organisation that runs our country, the United Kingdom, based on Charles I and way before then. The officers of the court told the High Court judge, oh, well, we may have made a mistake and not served the summons on the prison governor of Cardiff Prison. So my £50,000 judgment for false imprisonment was struck out. Now, it's just happened again, perchance, about 7 years later. And the Home Office lawyers, in force, in court last week, tried the same game. I thought, hang on. They know I haven't just crawled out from under a stone. They're doing it again. This time, I employed a local lawyer in Cardiff. I gave him the money, 500 quid or what it is, 490 or 500 quid, to serve a claim, an amended claim against the Home Office and the prison parole board that I had been falsely imprisoned for 8 months. Something my sister from Jersey was a witness to. Very much a witness to. Real direct evidence stuff. And last week they pretended they knew nothing about it. I thought,
But the fact that you had a lawyer representing you...
Oh no, he forgot to turn up.
Oh right. Even though you paid it?
And we can read this into whichever interpretation you like. Somebody tells me I was never informed. We've got a new lawyer, judge on the scene from that last one, and he said, well, where's your barrister that served all these documents? I said, I don't know. There I was in my shorts and t-shirt, thinking, well, I wasn't going to come, but I was in France last weekend, and I got that little gut feeling that Kirk is famous for. Gut feeling that there's a radar trap round the corner, slow down. You know, you meet people. I was very good at rugby because I had a premonition as I was going for the corner flag as a number 8, saying that ball is not going to go to he's going to pass it back and they're going to come through the middle. And I'd have somebody round the ankles, And I became quite
that lawyer didn't turn up. Have you spoken to him since?
Yes, this morning.
And what did he say?
Well, I heard words that suggested to me he's been nobbled. That's either a K.
Well, I mean, he's taking your money, so he says presumably his argument will be serve the papers, and that was for the money you gave him. Is that what it is?
Yes, but I had a phone call today that might be at, shall we say, gross variance.
Right.
To what I was told last week.
That case will continue?
I was given 7 days to put the claim in.
Right.
Again.
Right.
So I did it yesterday.
Right.
I forgot to include Article 10 of they hate the European Court in South Wales. A bit like Guernsey, you know.
Right.
A bit like Guernsey.
Right.
After our dear old friend Gerald and Yvonne Gillow.
I know.
Yes.
A bit like Guernsey. I'm surprised they haven't, because remember they invented vexatious litigant for you in Guernsey. I'm surprised they haven't invented that for you in South Wales.
Oh, they did, back in 2003. And just like the machine gun case, registering me as the top 5% most dangerous mapper, level 3, category 3, the top 5% most dangerous people in the country, I wasn't notified.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. I mean, you don't want to, you're of a certain age now, you're the same age as me, you don't want to make the rest of your life doing this. Where could you achieve a conclusion for it? Which court is going to say, yes, Mr. Kirk, we're sorry, we're going to admit things have been done wrong, we're going to pay you compensation? Which court realistically is going to do that?
Well, there was a glint of light through their armpit. You know, that's the way they got in Agincourt. Or, we're here in France, I often mention...
Yes, don't mention Agincourt.
Crécy or Jeanne d'Arc. To start an argument, a conversation. And only this week, the Crown Prosecution Service of Wales, separate to the English Crown Prosecution Service, wrote a letter saying that my request for the court records, that 6 years ago I was in the cells, and
which cells were those?
The Cardiff Magistrates
Cardiff. So we're still within. We're still in the Welsh jurisdiction.
Everything's to do with Cardiff Court.
Right.
But they said they served on me a restraining order against Dr. Tegan Williams, the chief psychiatrist of Wales.
Right.
And they went to court saying I have a brain tumour that causes the damage to my brain that makes me so dangerous. Well, the wheel has gone full circle, because 6 years down the line I've asked the prosecution for my next jury trial shortly, in a few weeks, where I go before my fourth jury. The first jury said, could we see the records to confirm that he was given the piece of paper in the cells? I thought, right, I've won. We finished. Good. And the judge turned around to John Curran, said, no, not. Here we are this week. The prosecutor has said, those records are now so old, in my opinion, watching his pension, keeping control of his pension, those are no longer disclosable. Well, I'm before Her Ladyship, Ellery Rees. Oh, by the way, I am over here looking for a troisième femme. Anyway, I'm before Ellery.
This judge isn't on the list for the troisième.
Oh, she's happily married. We cannot but dream.
Right.
And Her Ladyship said, may I suggest you do a timeline for what's happened where you started to sue the South Wales Police 25 years ago, and where they seem to have interfered with your life that may have affected your preparation and presentation of your civil claim. Right. She didn't say it like that. Her Ladyship didn't say it quite like that, but that's how I interpret it.
Right, okay. And you're doing that, you're doing it.
I am doing just that.
Right.
And the issue this week is that the letter dated June from the prosecution service saying it's too late to ask for those records. But the jury back on the 4th of November in 2012, before I did 3 years of my life in prison on this argument, being backwards and forwards like a yo-yo on this, they asked exactly that. And the prosecutor there said, shook his head at the judge, and I arrested him and asked the police to take him to prison for perverting the course of justice. That's another story.
If you get this timeline together, you do the documentation, where will this hearing, could it lead? Where could this next hearing?
They can't apologise. No. It's like Guernsey. The Guernsey authorities could never apologise for the mistakes and the way they stole our veterinary practice. My poor old mate Nick, who was made bankrupt due to a bunch of corrupt Guernsey officials. I represent too many people, and I represent them to show that if you keep going...
But hopefully, where could it go? Where this lady judge, is she a breath of fresh air or not, do you think?
The Recorder of Cardiff, no less, entangled in it in the machine gun case when she refused me bail, because in front of her on the November 2009, it said that I had a brain tumour and level
you're
3.
beginning to lose me now, because this timeline this judge hinted that you should produce.
She was a young judge in those days.
Right.
Now she's the Recorder of Cardiff.
Same person. Okay.
And I have great pity, sympathy for the problem she has, because it's a political one.
Right. But you're going through with this process. That's what I'm trying to get.
Because it's the rule of law. It is the rule of law.
Where could it lead you? What hope is there? Is there light at the end of the tunnel, as they will say? Is for you?
Apologies for locking me up for 3 years of my life, losing my qualifications, losing my life, my wife, my children, my wealth, my health. Where do you want me to go?
But what judgment can she make to cause those things to happen? Is it within her powers to do that? Can she say, this person owes you an apology? Can she say something like that?
Today? Oh no, I wouldn't ask her to do that. It would be quite improper for a judge to do that.
Right.
Today, this morning, about 4 or 5 in the morning, I wrote a letter to the court, her court, making an application to strike out the current prosecution for the 4th jury trial, giving an argument very much based on the fact that the original records they have altered, redacted, destroyed now, and with this letter of only a few weeks ago saying it's too old for you to have those records, but the first jury asked for them, and they were told to go to blazes. I want the next jury to ask.
Are you sure? I mean, these records, these have a habit of turning up. These records, are you sure they don't exist? They must exist somewhere.
When it's convenient to the enemy, yes.
Yes, right. So they probably do exist somewhere.
Remember, one of the psychiatrists leading nurses at Caswell Clinic, when I was in there for analysis, when this Dr. Tegan Williams, with no medical qualifications for interpreting brain scans, told the court that I had a brain tumour, possible brain tumour. That lady was so annoyed, being a seasoned nurse doing a damn good job. I believe it was her or somebody in that building leaked the internal memos of MAPA hearing of the 8th of June 2009 to say, if Mr. Kirk goes to the Chief Constable to exchange civil damages claim files, witness statements, he's likely to be shot.
Just to sum up, because I want to sum up, because we've done quite a few minutes, which most people won't get. They start at the beginning, but they won't get to the end. If they cut to the end, where are you now? I mean, people will say, well, what exactly are you doing now, and where's it going to lead you?
Very simple. I am still breathing. They are waiting for me to stop breathing. Because I am not stopping.
Okay, that's a simple enough point. People can grasp that. We're going to move on to something which people are more interested. The general public's more interested in. Those things in the magnificent men in their flying machines.
Oh,